Morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the K70C Sky Warrior. Those of you who are familiar with my videos know that I've already reviewed the K70C, so why am I doing it again? Well, since I did the original video back in January, there was an upgrade. Well, there was changes. I won't call it an upgrade. They made some changes to the original K70C, which weren't necessarily for the good. But since then, they've made some more changes. This is a new version of the K70C. If you notice on the throttle stick is centered. Yes, this is the altitude hold version of the Sky Warrior. And that's what we're going to fly today. I'm going to fly this altitude hold version and see and compare it verbally with my experience with the original K70C, tell you how it flies. So I hope you enjoy this flight. Let's go over real quick what the features are on the K70C. K70C uses very large, powerful motors. They actually are SEMA X8C motors, so you can find replacement motors for these if they fail. They're very easy to replace. This pod just has 2 screws on it to take off this bottom casing, and then there are, I believe, 2 screws on the top to remove the motor that attach to the motor, and the motor just unplugs in. There is no soldering required. You unplug it and replug in a new motor and put the screws back in, and you're good to go. So very easy to change motors on the K70C. The camera on this is a 2 megapixel 720p HD camera. It has a tiltable gimbal that you can tilt the camera up and down remotely using the remote controller. The range on this is about 300 meters predicted. I'm not going to fly that far. I don't want to go out through the desert and the bushes right now. If you notice, I'm in Indian Wells Canyon today, and the reason I'm here today is it's kind of breezy down in the desert, and the canyon helps block a lot of that wind, so I'm still able to fly up here in the canyon. Okay, other features of this has real nice lighting on this. The original K70C had twinkling lights like a Christmas tree. This one, lights stay solid until you get low battery power, low voltage warning, and then they start to blink. I think that was the reason why they changed it, because it was confusing people with low battery or low voltage warning. Now you can clearly know that you have low voltage warning instead of, seeing twinkling in the sky. The original I couldn't tell when I was on low battery. Let's go over the transmitter now. Transmitter is very similar to the previous one. This button here, quick press takes photo. Holding it down for 2 seconds starts and stops the video. This is the 1 key return button. This is your rates button for low, medium, and expert rate, or low, medium, high, if you will. Since this is an altitude hold quadcopter, you have to take off by using this button here. Pressing this button here has the quadcopter enter into idle state, and then you can give it throttle to climb, to take off, and to land. You can press the button again and it will land, and then you can press it or hold it for 3 seconds, I believe, and it will shut down. So that's the only way to start it. I tried starting it, by down and out, moving the sticks. There's no way that the quadcopter's motors will start. You have to use this button. It is necessary to use this button to start it. Other buttons on this is lights. This is headless mode. You can turn the lights off if you want to save power. Headless mode is activated by pressing this button here, and if you want to do flips, you press this button here and tell it which direction to flip. Other buttons on this, what would normally be the throttle trim button is what being used for controlling the gimbal tilt. If you want to go point it downward, you push up. If you want to point it upward, you push down. That'll point the cameras. And finally, if you want to do a compass calibration, or not compass calibration, if you want to reset the headless mode direction, where you have to land the quadcopter, and you point the sticks down and to the left, and I believe down and to the right will calibrate the gyros. That's it. Other buttons on this are normal trim buttons, and this button or slide bar here is inoperative. It's just decoration. So let's go for a flight of the K70C altitude hold Sky Warrior version and show how it performs. Now, we do have an on-off switch with this quadcopter, which you activate the quadcopter by pressing that button there. It gives you a beeping saying it's waiting for input from the transmitter. Turn on the transmitter, and you bind the transmitter by an up-down like that. Now let's look and observe this feature of the tilting gimbal. Okay, pushing up, see how it goes up. It's hard to do with one hand. And lowering it, pushing down that button, and the camera comes down. So yes, this camera does tilt, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's demonstrate the takeoff. Before we do that, we want to turn on the video. Holding down the button, camera should be recording, and we launch the quadcopter by pressing this button here to start it. And let's see if I press it, if it'll do an automatic takeoff. Hold on. No, that just starts and stops the motors. So keep that in mind. It starts and stops the motors. I wouldn't press that in flight then. Do not press that to do an automatic landing. Okay, let's evaluate the altitude hold feature on this. It actually seems to be working well. Working very well. With that in mind, let's go, since I'm recording, let's go up a little higher. Well, folks, it seems to fly very nicely. Feels good. Good flying quadcopter. And the altitude hold does work. Okay, with that in mind, let's go over here and we're going to come down, reducing throttle. And I am going to do a high-speed run up the road here. I'm going to walk down a bit more so I don't hit my car when I do such. This is in low rate, high-speed run. Reducing throttle even more. Keeping the throttle down, but full forward pitch. Just going to fly over my position. Flies well. Flies very good, actually. Still reducing throttle. Coming down lower. I'm trying to get down to about my height. Again, this is beginner rate. It flies very well, very smooth. Okay, let's go up a little higher and we're going to increase the rate. Increasing rate. Intermediate. Much faster now. Wow. You know, it's still fast quadcopter. The original was fast, and this one's fast too. And finally, let's try expert rate. Careful. Jeez. Yes, it's fast. Almost hit the tilt there, but yeah, it still has that extreme tilt on it. So yeah, this is a good quadcopter. Okay, going back to beginner rate. What do I want to do now? I haven't done one key return. I think it was pointed that way. Let's press one key return and see if it flies back toward us. Yeah, it does. Keep in mind, if you want one key return to work, you have to keep the quadcopter flying down the general direction it was pointed when it took off. It was pointed in that direction when it took off. So if I fly down in that direction there, here, lowering it a bit. I want to lower it a little bit more. If I keep it down there and then press that one key return, it should fly back toward me in my general direction. And generally it does. So this is one key return. Okay, let's try headless mode. Coming down. Bringing it in toward me. Big quadcopter, huh? How's that holding? There's no wind right now, so I'm trimming it up a little bit. A little forward trim. That was too much left. Okay, let's go a little bit higher and go into headless mode. Headless mode being activated now. So you can use headless mode for panning the quadcopter and doing what I like to call easy rider pans or easy rider crane shots. Here, let's lower the camera now. Point it down toward me to show you this. Easy rider pan. The river flows, it flows to the sea. Okay, let's fly it. I'm going out of headless mode now. I want to fly overhead and point the camera down. You should be able to see me right now, folks. Oh, I think those lights might be blinking. Let's come down and check that. Yeah, the lights are blinking, so that's giving us the low voltage warning. So let's bring it in. I think that's my flight time, folks. So that's a K70C. Yeah, let's raise that camera back up. And land it. And just pulling the throttle down shuts it off too. So, well, let me turn off that camera. Camera off. That was the flight of the K70C Sky Warrior. I actually kind of like it. The altitude hold works very well with this. I hope the camera worked very well. We'll find out here in post-production. So, hope you enjoy this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out.